Hi, welcome back to the garden. We're trying a new camera, so hopefully it actually works this time. So let's start over here this time. That is our calamansi tree. I'm going to put my hand over there for scale. You can see it's still pretty small. But it did manage to survive the freeze last winter. Pull some of the weeds out of the way. And we're actually kind of surprised because when the freeze, all of the above ground stuff just died off. But apparently it had a good root system. Weed. So it's coming back. That is a tree that is more than 2 years old, almost 3 years old at this point. So we'll see how it goes. So over here, not technically garden, but sort of garden, I've got the rainwater capture hooked up. Well, I've had the first jug hooked up. I don't know what kind of threads those are, and I haven't been able to find anything that fits that at Home Depot. If those threads look familiar to anyone and you happen to know what that is, please leave a comment. But I've got one IBC tote hooked up on that side and another over there. So hopefully I will have a lot of water for the summer. Now over here in my closest bed, I've got the beans. Now, I planted 3 rows of beans. So there's like 1 row in back, 1 row in the middle, 1 row close, probably covered by this piece of wood. Let me move the piece of wood. I don't know why that's there. Probably should have planned this before I clicked record. Okay. So this has 3 rows of beans in it. On the flip side, almost none of them have come up. But if I look there, that is definitely, like right there, that's a bean. So we'll see how that does. See if anything else comes up, because that's, looking at this bed, the only one I've seen. Now, there is my future pepper bed and my future tomato bed. They both need to be run over by a tiller and probably have the wood redone, so I may be doing that this week. And lots of grass pulled out. Like, when I lived in the city, I wish my lawn would produce grass this fast, but no. And now that I don't want grass in my garden, I've got grass going absolutely everywhere. Oh my, that is like the runner on this thing. That is huge. Okay, anyways, over here is my wife's bok choy, and that's actually producing pretty well. She's actually eating some of that for dinner tonight, I believe. So bok choy's coming up. That's doing okay. It is getting bug bit if we look close. So we're definitely getting pest pressure. Over here, I'm not sure what that is. Once again, it's my wife's bed. And we've got squash coming up. Now, we don't have a trellis for this. So I'm currently thinking I'll put some T-posts in, just like in the 2 here and then 2 at the end, and run hardware cloth across that as a makeshift trellis, because I've got leftover hardware cloth and T-post from the chickens over there. Over here, got onions, and this is kind of divided into 2 pieces. Step over here so you can see that first set of onions is the yellow onions, and yeah, they look kind of sad at the tops, and there's like some of them are falling over, but not the entire top falling over. It's just some of the greens, and they're not fully bulbed up. Like if I go in here and take a close look, you can see they're not really making bulbs. They just got a little bigger on the stems. Over here is the white onions. And kind of interesting, they're producing flowers. So I'm gonna let those go a little bigger, and then I'm gonna harvest the seed out of those to plant later. And if we look down here, the camera will focus, they're bulbing up quite well. Not all of them, but most of them are forming bulbs. So I think these are going to be coming out soon, and then it's going to be a mad rush to dehydrate them as fast as I can, because those really only last about a month once I pull them up. And there's some of the greens, or more onions. My wife planted these for the greens, and they're bulbed up because we didn't been harvesting the greens. And then lastly, the chard plant is continuing to be absolutely eaten alive by caterpillars, and I've got so much chard I really don't care. Man, I got grass going absolutely everywhere in these beds. I gotta spend some more time out here weeding. But that's pretty much it for the plants. Now, if I walk over here, last weekend we cleaned out the burn barrel there, and we cleaned out the chicken coop. So we now have a compost bin that's got a bunch of chicken bedding in here, and this is full of chicken poo in there. Like, yay, chicken poop. So that should make really good fertilizer, or good compost once it all breaks down. And it's also got the ashes from the burn barrel. Oh, you guys want to be on video too? Okay, there you go. So hopefully that will turn into good compost next year. The attempt to compost from last year, it's still breaking down, so that's going to take some time. So that's pretty much it for this weekend. Yeah, the chickens are being loud. I'll go hang out with them later. Okay, I almost forgot the seedlings. The mustard, I think I'm just going to let that die pretty soon. Tomatoes are kind of mixed. Like this batch of tomatoes isn't looking all that healthy. That batch of tomatoes is looking pretty good though. Those might get transferred to a raised bed later. Over here, the Thai chilies, those are looking okay. Those Thai chilies are a bit younger, but they're also looking okay. The Laboyo, most of them not looking good. The one at the end kind of looks good with the extra leaves going. And then over here, this one's not looking too great for the chili Laboyas.